stood at the foot of the staircase, staring up at the three women, their eyes locked on mine with an intensity that sent a chill through my spine. They weren't just any women. There was something about their presence that felt almost otherworldly. The kind of aura that makes you feel small, insignificant, and yet strangely powerful. "You coming?" one of them asked, her voice cool and calm, like the breeze on a crisp autumn evening. I nodded, swallowing my doubts. This wasn't an invitation I could turn down, not because of any particular desire, but because something inside me, something deep down, told me I had to go. As I took the first step, I didn't know that I was walking into a turning point of my life. A moment that would not only shake me to my core, but also change everything I thought I knew about people, about relationships, and about myself. It all started innocently enough. I'd been invited to an exclusive gathering at a mansion I had never been to before. There was an air of mystery surrounding the invitation, but curiosity always got the best of me. I had heard whispers about this place, about the three women who lived there, each one more enigmatic than the last. The first woman was Ilara, a tall, poised figure with a penetrating gaze. The second was Serena, whose charm was as magnetic as her smile. The third, though, was the one who intrigued me most, Isabella. With a quiet, calculating demeanor, she was the kind of woman who seemed like she knew the answers to questions no one dared to ask. I had no idea what they wanted with me. All I knew was that I had been drawn to this place by an invisible thread I couldn't see. Something pulled me in, and now, as I climbed the stairs toward them, I was already regretting my decision. But it was too late to turn back. "Welcome," Ilara said, her voice smooth like velvet, but laced with something darker beneath the surface. She gestured for me to sit, and I obeyed without a word. The room was grand, but its elegance was unsettling. The walls were adorned with art that felt alive, faces that seemed to watch you as you moved, their eyes following every step. There was an oppressive silence that made it hard to breathe, yet it also felt like the kind of silence that holds secrets just out of reach. "We've been waiting for you," Serena added, her voice soft but filled with anticipation. I glanced at Isabella, who had remained eerily silent. Her eyes were fixed on me, studying every move I made as if assessing my worth. It was in those moments that I realized this wasn't a typical gathering. This wasn't a casual invitation. I was part of something larger, something that I didn't fully understand yet. "What do you want from me?" I finally asked, my voice trembling slightly, unable to hide the fear that had begun to creep in. Ilara smiled, though it didn't reach her eyes. "We don't want anything from you," she replied cryptically. "We need something from you." The words hung in the air, heavy and laden with meaning I couldn't grasp. Before I could respond, Isabella spoke. "Do you believe in destiny?" she asked. I frowned. "What does that have to do with anything?" "It has everything to do with everything," she said softly. "You were chosen. There's a reason you're here." The room seemed to close in on me, the walls narrowing, the air growing thick. I felt suffocated, yet I couldn't tear myself away. "Chosen for what?" I managed to whisper. "You will know soon enough," Serena answered with a knowing smile. "But first you must prove yourself." What followed next was something I could never have prepared for. They told me I had to face a test, a trial of sorts. It was a test not of my physical abilities, but of my emotional resilience, my capacity for empathy, understanding, and self-awareness. "You see," Ilara began, "we are here to teach, but only those who are open to learning can truly grow." And so they pushed me, emotionally, mentally, and spiritually. They tested my ability to see beyond the surface, to look deep into myself and confront parts of me I had long buried. With each challenge, I felt my foundation shattering, pieces of my former self crumbling away. At one point, they asked me to write down my greatest fear. I hesitated. For the first time, I realized that my greatest fear wasn't failure or rejection. It was the fear of not being enough, not being worthy, not being seen. I had spent my entire life chasing approval, only to realize it would never come from anyone else but myself. Another challenge involved empathy. I had to listen to stories from each of them, their pain, their struggles, their histories. I had to listen without judgment, without trying to fix things, just listen. And in that listening, I discovered something powerful: vulnerability. I saw how much strength it took to open up, to trust, to be seen. But the hardest part wasn't the tests themselves. It was facing the parts of myself that had been hiding in the shadows. The doubts, the insecurities, the fears that I had pushed aside. These women, these powerful, enigmatic women, had somehow known that I needed to confront these things in order to grow. But as the trials continued, something shifted in me. I began to let go of my need for validation. I stopped measuring my worth by others' standards and started finding value in who I was, flaws and all. And then just when I thought I understood everything, Isabella stood before me. "You have done well," she said. Her voice steady and warm now, no longer cold and distant. "But the greatest lesson is still to come." I looked at her, confused. "Everything you've learned here," she continued, "was never about us. It was about you. You were chosen because you needed to see your own strength. You needed to realize that you are worthy of love, of success, of everything you've been running from." And just like that, I understood. The trials, the challenges, they weren't meant to break me. They were meant to build me, to show me that I was capable of so much more than I ever believed. But as I left that house, I felt lighter. Not because I had completed the trials, but because I had finally come to terms with myself. I had let go of the need for external approval, and I had started the journey of self-acceptance. It wasn't an easy path, and I knew it wouldn't always be smooth. But I also knew that I was no longer afraid to face the challenges that lay ahead. But if there's one thing I learned from my experience with those 3 women, it's this: true growth comes from facing the things we fear the most. It comes from stepping into discomfort, from confronting our own insecurities, and from realizing that we are more than enough just as we are. So if you're watching this, take a moment to reflect on your own journey. What parts of yourself are you afraid to face? What are the things you've been running from? Know that you have the strength within you to confront them. And when you do, you'll emerge stronger, wiser, and more capable than you ever imagined. But if you found this story meaningful, please take a moment to like, share, comment, and subscribe to Whispers of Kindness. Your support helps us bring more stories of inspiration and growth. If you've faced challenges like these or have a story to share, I'd love to hear it. Drop a comment below and let's continue this journey together. Thank you for watching, and remember, you are more than enough.